What up, y'all? It's your boy Pierre Lott, aka the Brick Slinger, and guess what? Your boy got something to say. And not only that, as you can see, I got my brother beside me, none other than Mr. Analytical himself. Man, it is so good for this to be what it is. This is basically a reunion.
Yes, it is.
A long time coming, and man, God has been good on that. So I'm going to take myself aside, let my brother introduce himself and all that good stuff. Let him know what's been going on with him and all that good stuff. So, what's yours?
All right. I'm not going to take too much time, but for those on this channel, on his channel, I was known as Mr. Analytical. Me and you used to do videos together back in the day, called the Soapbox. We kind of, without getting into too much detail, we just decided to go our separate ways for a while. Maybe we can do this collab again, off and on. Now, for those who happen to scroll on YouTube and see my face, for my audience, you know who I am. I do the CHH review once a month, where I review upcoming artists, indie artists in the CHH space that normally doesn't get exposure like they need to. If you really want to get a review done by me, you can always email me at assist@showmechristrecords.com. Also, if you want to sponsor my video, you can also email me at that same address as well. So, without further ado, what's the topic for today?
Well, none other than our favorite Christian rapper as of this moment, Kanye West.
Well, I did listen to an old video of his, like, because I didn't want to put the quote unquote box onto him. But I did find an old video saying where people was asking him if he was going to be a Christian from now on. He said he's a Christian everything. So now I can officially say that. But not to get confused, like, this wasn't necessarily a Christian album per se. I would say this is more of him coming into his own and more like doubling down on what he believes in. And hopefully he upgrades his craft a little bit to where it actually is a Christian album in the future.
That's dope. That's dope. So basically, not too long ago, I did a post on my Facebook letting me know that I will be speaking on Kanye West taking over the gospel chart. I don't know about you, but I have yet to find an artist that could put out a project and every song in the project hits every part of the chart. The Christian charts, the gospel chart. Like, his whole album is basically on this chart. There's not one Christian artist that's well known. No Toby Mac, no Torrance Wells, no Lawrence Daigle. I hope I said her name right. There's nobody else on this list except for Kanye West's whole project. And as far as I'm concerned, I know there's a lot of people are hating it. Hating that, not the fact that he put out a project like this, but the fact that he literally took over the whole project by himself. On one side, you got someone like Fred Hammond that's looking at folks and be like, "Oh, great! This is a great opportunity for us to reach the lost, because now the lost is speaking." You see, they got Kanye West every song on this project on this chart, so now we got the opportunity to reach the lost. Then you got someone like Ty Tribbett on the other end that's like, this is how the industry goes. This is what to expect. So here's my thing. I've heard some of it, the project. I'm not going to say I've heard them all, but I heard some of it. Some songs have already got me to thinking this is the, if anything, it's not Kanye classic, but it's somewhere within Kanye's just putting stuff out just to be like, here you go. Like Jesus, or even Watch the Throne. And those projects, well, it's debatable as classics. Debatable. However, Donda, I know a lot of Christians probably don't like the project because it's not gospel. You know what I'm saying? it doesn't have the gospel quality, which we don't know what it is unless you compare this to the Kurt Franklin, the Ty Tribbetts, the Fred Hammonds, and all that stuff. It doesn't give us the content of the gospel, meaning it talks about Jesus Christ being died and rose and all that stuff. It doesn't give us that. However, we do hear God being mentioned. We do hear Jesus being mentioned. But there's a whole lot of other stuff that's in that we just like, I don't know if it's gospel or is it, why are we putting this in the gospel? And if I did a video when he did Jesus King, and I'm saying, if anything, do not put this project as, don't put him in this category. If he doesn't acknowledge that area, do not put him in that area. So what am I saying about Donda is that this project should not be in this area, but since it's been already labeled in this area, folks should not be surprised of the impact Kanye brings to the table. That's why it's easy for him to be on the gospel side or the Christian music side and take over. Now, does that mean he has, how can I ask this? Does this mean that he is secular yet sacred? It's up. Because there are too many, there's already well-known secular artists, from Jay-Z, the Baby, and even there's controversial songs where, and I'm not talking about songs where there's controversy. I'm talking about songs where other artists were supposed to be on it, but didn't get on it, like Chris Brown and Soulja Boy. Thank God, but still.
Oh, is that?
Yes.
Actually, Chris Brown is actually on that.
Oh, it is.
Make Me New Again. He did background vocals for that.
Oh. Okay, then that definitely clarifies some information that I need to readdress. But if anything, I wouldn't automatically make this a gospel album. Not because there's no gospel quality. Because as far as I'm concerned, quote unquote gospel quality is the music. It is ability to do certain things. But however, we're talking about Kanye West. He's the type of artist that never stay in the previous formula. It's like once he does one formula, he's back in the lab to create another one. It may not be top quality, but he put his name on it and it's going to be well marketed. You know what I'm saying? But if anything, man, how do you feel about this whole not just the project, but him taking over the gospel industry, the Christian industry, the way that he's doing it now with this project?
I mean, I don't mind it at all because the way I look at this is he's not following the traditional blueprint of today's industry, because he put himself in a position where his album is going to be listened to from years on in. He's making a timeless classic right now. Like, for the fact, I think he's taking it more, this being a Christian, a little bit more seriously, even though you can't tell it from the music, but he's taking it more seriously because I know for a fact, like, first of all, he didn't put a graphic on his album cover. I'm saying, like, which most people think that's unprofessional. Second thing that caught my eye when that he's taking this more seriously is that all the secular artists that's featured in his album, obviously, that he didn't even put them on it out as a feature artist. He let those blank. So that tells me that he wants people to focus on the lyrics and when he's delivering, and not who's on the album. Another thing I noticed is that he's trying to be more open with this particular album as opposed to Jesus King. Like, he's telling more stories. He's being open about his relationship with Kim a little bit more. um, he's more focused on being, he's a baby of faith. He's letting you know where his stance is as he's working through this walk with Christ. So, me personally, I know a lot of Christians. Me, me with me saying that, I know I'm going to get a lot of stones, a lot of Pharisees, a lot of Sadducees for making comments like that. But yeah, first of all, let me say this to y'all. Y'all understand, and I put this example out there. There's Lecrae, and then there's Kanye. Arguably and debatably, you can say both of them are straight hip hop. Both of them are at the top of the pinnacle as far as mainstream music.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I'm going to get questions like, okay, basically Lecrae is doing this same type of format as Kanye. So what's the issue? The issue is Lecrae's been a Christian for almost 20 years now?
Right. Give 2 more years, we'll say 20.
Yeah.
But right now we'll say 18. He graduated from high school.
Yeah, he's been the Lord for way longer than Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye's just now starting to do this whole Christian thing. So I cannot put him in the same category as Lecrae and judge him based on those first two quote unquote Christian albums and say that, oh, he's doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying I can't do that. That's all I gotta say about that for right now.
And I'm kind of glad that you brought up Lecrae.
Mm-hmm.
So now that there is a major difference, when Lecrae started off as a Christian artist, he's now trying to get mainstream and secular attention. Not saying he's putting out secular music, but he's getting secular attention. Meanwhile, we got Kanye West, who was a secular artist, and I have to say was because it is what it is. Was a secular artist, but yet he comes in and becoming a Christian artist and does what he does. So we see a parallel to a degree. What is your view on people trying to make it seem like a Kanye West versus Lecrae situation? Like they want to make it seem like Kanye says Jesus more time on his last 2 projects than Lecrae with his last 5 projects. Ever since After Gravity per se. What is your particular view when we deal with Christians, particularly Christians, that does that? Put those two in a comparison box.
That's a loaded question. First of all, I would say, what's the intention behind your music? You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to reach the lost? Or are you trying to just provide entertainment? You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to convey what's in the Bible? Or are you just trying to, for lack of better information, put some more money in your pocket, get more exposure? You know what I'm saying? Like, these questions got to be answered first before you make these comparisons. Or as far as Kanye's already mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did a whole stadium concert for pennies. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was only charging people $10, $20 per ticket. That he rent out the Mercedes, I think it's called the Mercedes Stadium somewhere. Now that he's losing money on that end. So that tells you right there is more about his message as opposed to getting on a come up. So first of all, I would say let's see what the intentions are and the motives are before we make a comparison. So
that's good. But not to say but, and I don't want to say but like to be like trying to be a devil's advocate, because none of us worship the devil. We'll throw that in the corny joke box. But however, there we go. However, we seeing what Kanye is doing compared to what Lecrae was trying to do. Because Lecrae was trying to avoid the title Christian rapper, as opposed to Kanye coming in. He said, "I want to be a Christian everything."
Mm-hmm.
And with this whole chart takeover, I remember having a conversation when he was putting out Life of Pablo, and folks wanted to wonder if that was going to be a gospel album.
Mm-hmm.
And I let it be known, like, yo, if we're not careful, look, Kanye will end up being the standard of gospel music.
Mm-hmm.
Now, fast forward to now, 2021,
Mm-hmm.
he basically taking over the whole chart. Does this automatically makes him the standards of Christian, the gospel music? And if not, what will it take for him to be that? Or if so, what is it that other artists needs to do in order to either match that or avoid that?
Well, let me say this first. First of all, for the Christian artists right now, wherever level you on, if you're looking at Kanye's album now, and you looking at Lecrae, my thing is, are you staying in your own lane? Because when Lecrae came out with Anomaly in 2014, and then by this time everybody's looking at Lecrae as the standard of Christian hip hop. So automatically, like I said earlier, everybody want to follow this blueprint. Everybody want to follow Lecrae. They say like, oh, that's how Lecrae's going to get to the mainstream media, so I got to follow this blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
I got to take Jesus out. I got to stunt my own creativity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got to do this simplistic graphics. I got to say certain words in my albums, even though I don't agree with it. I got to say it. That's the problem right there. And then you look at somebody like Kanye, who could somewhat did the complete opposite of Lecrae. Now you're all confused. You know what I'm saying? So
I like that.
my thing is, first of all, don't follow what you believe first. You gotta establish, are you a Christian artist? You know what I'm saying? First of all. And if you're not, if you just want to go straight hip hop, then go that route. Because what's playing on radio now is basically the same thing. Everybody's following the trend.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants to be a sheep, basically. So, and this is why I believe that our subgenre is failing, because of those reasons. So, to reiterate, you have to decipher what you want to do in your career. You know what I'm saying? Reestablish that creativity. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Throw away the blueprint. Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't fit what you want to do, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to establish yourself as an artist 10, 20 years from now. I haven't said this on my Twitter. What I've said on my Twitter is this: do you want to make music for now, or do you want down the road 10, 20 years from now, people who aren't even born yet listen to your music? You know what I'm saying? That's what it should be about. So
I like that. I like that. But based upon that answer, what will be the cause of folks not, at least when we start listening to Christian hip hop, what was probably the cause of folks not thinking 20 years later when it came to their music? Would it be like they was thinking about now reaching the people that lost now, or was it only because what was popular at the time would be beneficial now until that stuff? Because they probably didn't expect to Lecrae probably didn't expect to last this long. Probably Flame and the rest of them didn't expect to last this long.
Mm-hmm.
What would probably be the cause of folks? What would be the cause of a subgenre like Christian hip hop to not think 20-some years later when it came to the music?
Oh, you're asking why as the listener, as the customer, why would they wouldn't listen to a song that's created now, 20 years from now?
That not only as a listener, as a consumer, but also a music observer. Like in your case, you will be considered a music critic.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about the time of real talk and rewind and the moment of truth, and then fast forward um, to now Donda.
Mm-hmm.
It what from those perspectives, not just a consumer perspective and listener, but also music critic. Compared to back then to now, did I probably have to rephrase this question like this: as a consumer, did you expect this genre to last this long? And but at the same time, as a critic, what can what will be the evolution degree from at that time to now when it comes to the subgenre known as Christian hip hop?
I think it goes back to the mindset. Like, if you know your music is for Christians, then that's who you're gonna stay with. That's who's gonna listen to your music. Now, the more you deviate from that, just expect that you're gonna get some criticism.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People are going to evaluate your music um, any way, shape, or form. Like, some people give it a thumbs up, some people might give it a thumbs down. And then when you see them comments on your album
Mm-hmm.
via social media, and people put you in a category, you can't get mad at that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, which I believe that's why a lot of people want to get away from titles. But the thing is, you're not going to get away from that title or any title.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so the best way to answer your question, as far as will the music last, I mean, it depends on how the consumer listens to the music. Are they listening to just for fun, or are they listening to it and say, "Hey, this is my favorite song, and I'm going to listen to it probably for the rest of my life and put this in my collection." So,
in other words, it's the difference between just enjoying the music versus this particular music does more than just tickle the ear. It's like it ministered to me. You know?
yeah, kind of like I'll say this, kind of like Drake's new album. To be honest with you, after I got to the A track, I turned that off.
Hmm.
Because I already knew that album was made for short-term availability.
Hmm.
That album, yeah, people are going to play. It's going to be a lot of streams, but after I say like a month or two, people won't start listening to it. And it probably won't get brought up again until like I say maybe 5-10 years later when it's a meme.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't transfer that over as an NFT. You know what I'm saying? You can't make memorabilia out of it. It's not a timeless classic. Matter of fact, it's repetitive, repeating the same topics. Where as far as Donda, I got a lot out of it because every time I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing when it comes to listening to music in my car on my way to work. I'll throw on a Kanye music album because he's saying some things that really caught my attention. And then when I listen to it again, I get something new out of it. So you got to ask yourself as a consumer, as a critic like myself who has a YouTube channel who do reviews.
Check it out when you get a chance.
Mm-hmm. When you critique these songs, are you really telling your audience that is this something I'm going to listen to over and over again, or is it something I'm coming back to, or is this not up to par?
before you continue on, you mentioned Dre. Now, folks only going to mention two Dre's: Dr. Dre and 3 Stack. If you want to, can you bring a clarification of what Dre you're talking about?
I said Drake.
Thank you, because I thought I heard Dre. I didn't hear the K and E part.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that's my fault. But Drake is definitely a good example of an artist that continued to be consistent. Although his music, I kind of stopped listening to him after his first project.
Wow.
Yeah, because to me that first project was all like, I'm here to take over. I'm about to become the greatest MC of all time, of my time, and then all of a sudden, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Because somewhere around the way, some marketer or promoter, not promoter, what's that, PR firm, probably got in this here and say, hey, if you want to stay relevant, you got to follow this blueprint. You got to do this. Which, again, that stifles creativity. Which, that may be good for you short term. Long term, not so much. Because it's going to, like, not necessarily bankrupt you, but it's not going to make you that much money down the road. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not going to get people to remember you because they can listen to the same type of topic from another artist. You know what I'm saying? So,
which is true, because it definitely, you can find a Drake and it's easy to get a Yellow Breeze, or how about saying it right? And there's many other artists that does melodic rap nowadays, thanks to Drake. But dealing with Christian artists, especially the ones that we know, as well as artists that you put on your channel, and you mentioned to throw away the blueprint. Do that occur to all artists or just the ones that's coming up?
All artists. Because if you really want to stay relevant, if you want to reach new artists, new audience, new listeners, you can't do the same thing everybody else is doing because God only made one you. So how you going to keep the consumer's attention if you're doing what everybody else is doing? You know what I'm saying? I can't, like with my YouTube channel, I can't do the same thing he does. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk about and articulate myself the way he does on his channel with different topics. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if he chooses to, he could do mine, but
it will not be the same.
It will not be the same.
Right.
So
that's dope. Well, and I know you probably gave like basically a good catalog of what up and coming artists need to do, as well as veteran artists need to do, as far as relevancy. Now, as far as creativity goes, now that Kanye took over the chart, as far as creativity goes, what do that tells up and coming artists, or artists like myself, and even artists above my level? What is that message from the industry is telling the artists, from your perspective?
My perspective, that tells me first you need to step your game up. You know what I'm saying? Secondly, that tells me that you need to stop worrying about what people think. You know what I'm saying? If Kanye wants to wear a silk mask in the Mercedes Dome and perform piano, set himself on fire, be on stage with Marilyn Manson, and Chris Brown, you know what I'm saying? What does that tell you? That he's not afraid to be himself. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Lil Baby wore a diaper on stage one time.
Whoa, time out. We're not gonna let that pass by.
Okay.
You said Lil Baby.
Lil Baby or the Baby, one of those two.
The Baby. Okay, so we'll say the Baby because I know he's on that project. You're saying the baby was wearing diapers.
A Dot. He did that one time.
Okay, I'm just want to make sure because Kanye. I would if that was the case on Kanye's whole thing, it would be like really Kanye.
Nah.
But then again, it's like Kanye.
Yeah.
You would expect him to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But continue.
Yeah, but because creativity is basically about trying to get people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like him ascending to the stage where to the ceiling, like pretending to be heaven.
Mm-hmm.
That caught my attention. My question to artists: what are you doing that's so elaborate that's holding people's attention?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying you don't have to get like a big budget or anything like that, but I give you a good example of this indie artist I recently did a review on. Her name is Reese Lachey. The way she did something so simple on her Twitter. She said, and I knew she was dropping music early on, so I probably don't know what they called it.
Mm-hmm.
But she simply just say, "Hey, what's up, y'all?" and pretend to drop something, right? And she said, "Oh, I dropped something." I see that. Oh, let me continue, and then cut the video off.
Oh.
And then, well, people didn't know that Friday at midnight she was dropping 2 singles.
Mm.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That caught people's attention. That caught people off guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we could do stuff like that, I think the industry as a whole would become better. Like, you know how it was in the 90s, man? Like, everybody, literally every artist was different. Like, I didn't necessarily, like, was a fan of every artist, but I listened to every artist.
Right.
I listened to Wu-Tang. That wasn't my favorite group.
Yes.
But I listened to it because they was different than Biggie.
Yes.
Biggie was different than Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
Biggie was different than Do or Die. Do or Die was different than Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, Bone Thugs and Harmony got Do or Die for Jock and they style.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to get back to that. We need to go back to a time where that's not allowed. You can't be taking my style. You gotta come with your own style. You know what I'm saying? So,
and you know what the craziest part is that time you had your varieties.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have your variety of skills. You had your variety of talents. You had your variety of originality. Now you only have varieties of gimmicks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It not only and I wish it only stayed on the secular side, but it spewed over into the Christian side because you have artists that looks like an Uzi Vert, like a Lil Yachty, like a Gucci Man, like a Drake, like a Kanye. The list goes on. We're gonna mess around. We're gonna have mess around and have a Christian version of Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Lizzo. Mark my word. We're going to have a Christian WAP.
Probably so. Because, and you know why? Because Kanye set that standard.
Ooh.
And let me say this before you continue.
Go ahead.
Notice, like, I know you didn't listen to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me ask you this first. How far, like, what track number did you get to? Do you remember?
I can't even say it was a particular track number.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, after Jail.
Part 2 and 1.
See, I don't even. That's what messed me up about this project. Is that it got so many songs in that mug. I really couldn't even catch up to the part 1 or part 2 per se, because the way Kanye sets this thing up, it's like after the first song hit, after the first note of the first song hit, because this happened to me every time I heard College Dropout, Late Registration, and even Graduation.
Mm-hmm.
With Kanye's music, it's like once you hear his music, you're not even concerned about what's the next song gonna be. You're wondering how this journey is gonna lead me to a particular destination. Mm-hmm. And once I get to this destination, what is the destination? You know what I'm saying? So And I'm not gonna lie though. Once I'm even if it was like the first 5, 6 songs, and that's me being honest. After the first 5, 6 songs, I was practically like, what just happened? So
right, that's how I feel.
yeah, so now I probably need after this, I probably need to listen to the song, listen to the project more, and probably do a better review. Because comparing Donda to Jesus is King, and I've heard Jesus is King practically from top to bottom. There was so much uniqueness, and to hear Kanye being the Christian within the level that he was in. So it wasn't like he was coming off all super duper lyrical, spiritual, lyrical theology, all that stuff. He was just basically like, look, this is where I'm at right now as a Christian. This is where musically where I'm at as a Christian. Now Donda probably be more because Donda will probably be more of I need it. Like my song, I need it. It's basically like if you heard all the verses, you will probably I will say you'll probably understand why Donda was Donda. Because Donda sounded more like and that's just me listening to the first 5 songs. Now when I get to the rest, then it'll probably be a different story. But Donda sounds more like, okay, I'm still a Christian. However, I'm still going through lots of this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a Job experience for Kanye West. That would be the better way to say that.
That's a good description of that.
Yeah, so but here's something from a Christian perspective now. Because we got all the artists' perspective. We can probably do a catalog and volumes of an encyclopedia version from an artist's perspective what this project has done on the gospel chart. Now, from a Christian's perspective, whether it's religious or spiritual, it seems like this project has now drawn a line between those who want gospel music to be super duper traditional and those who want gospel music to be more revolutionary. Now, from a Christian's perspective, do any of these songs within this project speaks on Christian anything? Absolutely not. However, I do want us to continue to say that this brother needs to grow. He needs to continue to grow because he may have secular artists on well-known secular artists, whether it's from Chris Brown, the Baby, Jay-Z, Jay Electronica, all that stuff. But he still needs to grow. Do we as Christians need to do a better job of judging this dude, this particular level of Christianity that Kanye West in? Do we need to do a better job, and not just of condemning, but more of critiquing and be like, I may not agree with this, but I understand where he's going. Do we as Christians need to do a better job of judging as far as critiquing?
Yeah, because like I said, the Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, where Paul's talking about meeting people where they at. Because to the what do you say, like to the Greek that became Greek.
Yeah, to the Jews I became the Jew. To Greek I became Greek.
Yeah, so I think with those features, because notice he bleeped those words out. So I'm saying, like, which lets me know that, like I said earlier, that he's taking it a little bit more seriously. Because if he's going to go this Christian route, which I'm pretty sure he's going to go with his next album, he know for a fact that people aren't going to like those cuss words and profanity.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say this: artists on there, I noticed where they was talking about Jesus a little bit
Mm-hmm.
in their rhymes. They was trying about how they was trying to give him like a little story about how somewhat Jesus would enter into their lives, or how they try to be maybe somewhat Christ-like, but they don't know what direction they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think two verses on the album really stuck out to me for two secular artists. Fabian Foreign and a guy named, I think it was not Phone Electric or something like that.
Yeah, J Electronica.
J Electronica. Those two, Fabian Foreign, like his really stuck out to me because with him having like background in being a gangster or anything like that, his verse came out very positive to me.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he wrote it to all his fans for looking out for him, how he met a girl in church, how to not let people take advantage of you, which works perfectly in the song called "Off the Grid"
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to be in the same position that you were before. Because he was in jail. That's the first thing he said indirectly. He was in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's living a better lifestyle, even though it came off as very what's the looking for bragging, braggadocious.
Yeah.
It came off like I'm better than you, but if you read between the lines, like I said, this is why storytelling and rap is so important. You gotta listen from the first bar to the end.
Mm-hmm.
He starts off in jail. Then he quote unquote bragging about where he used to be and where he is now. Now he has money in his pocket. He met a girl in church.
Mm-hmm.
He has a brand new house away from the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not trying to go back to jail or hang out with the same old people. You know what I'm saying? That's what stick out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now the other guy from now I keep
J Electronica.
J Electronica. What stood out to me about his verse that he was very lyrical.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one verse he said, his rugged cross and thorns squeeze out Christ tears.
Mm.
I never heard a Christian artist say something that deep. I had to get that from a secular artist.
Ooh.
And that's the problem.
Ooh.
And then the last part where he said that really caught my attention, he said there's a war outside. There's a war outside. Look through your blinds that looks like Saddam and Gomorrah outside.
Ooh.
I never heard. Think about it. Again, folks, I had to get that from a secular artist. No Christian artist ever went that deep, except for maybe Gabrielle Parker.
Mm.
Or who else is like a real deep Christian gospel artist?
Jim Stones. He's lyrical.
Tonic or even Ambassador.
Ooh.
I mean that bar is on that level. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, but as much I love the Ambassador, I practically got all his stuff except for the first one. Please forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
But that bar right there alone.
Which one?
That last one that you mentioned. That
Saddam and Gomorrah.
No, the one we said Christ.
My rugged cross.
The rugged cross. Yeah.
And pointed thorn squeeze out Christ tears.
I wouldn't even expect that from the Ambassador. As dope as he is, I would not expect that from him. Man, see, that's the type of stuff that I don't think we do much thinking anymore, as far as listening to music, especially from a Christian artist perspective. I'm still thinking about that bar that but what can we expect this project to 100% minister to us like other Christian rap songs or even gospel music has? Especially being Christians ourselves for the amount of times that we have been Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Do we consider Donda as a project where we can say, I can listen to this because this whole project
Mm-hmm.
ministered to me, like Christology, like After the Music Stopped, like All World Redeemed and All Worlds Fallen, like Open Book. Now, man, the list goes on and on. Can we say the same thing about Donda the way we can say about the list of other Christian projects that have ministered to us to this point?
I feel like, I think a lot of times for people who've been Christian for a long time, like myself, or even like P, I think simplicity, sometimes we just need simplicity in our lives when it comes to the word, because some people like a Jackie Hill, who's a theologian. People like Pierre over here, who's a theologian. You know what I'm saying? To me, one of the best. No offense to nobody out there.
All right. Humble face. Humble face.
I think even with him being the babe in the faith,
Mm-hmm.
the simplicity in his music really set a foundation that we really need to stop focusing on, and I said this on Twitter too, start debating so much and start actually getting out here with the boots on the ground and actually reach the lost.
Mm-hmm.
This could minister on a basic level, but not like, like Bible study or anything like that.
Right.
So that's what I'll say about that.
Okay. So basically, it's from a foundational, like build your foundation on of the faith.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Even despite the other, whether it's vulgar profanity and this, that, and the third within this project, from what I probably heard from the outside listening,
Mm-hmm.
this will be a particular project to build our foundation, or at least get in our discernmentship when it comes to this project. And what I mean by when I mention discernmentship, I mention like developing the sight from a spiritual perspective as well as a musical perspective. Because we know how dope Kanye West is musically. We can probably still debate on how dope he is or how radical he is as far as political. But as far as musically, as well as theologically and spiritually, religiously, whatever the case may be when it comes to Christianity, this will be a project that we probably be like, okay, I may not come 100% grow, but at least I could start somewhere.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then it's cool. But if anything, if there's any last word, what would be that as far as giving? I'll put it to you like this: before we get to the last word,
Mm-hmm.
from your perspective, what separates Kanye West's gospel project from Snoop Dogg gospel project?
It's not really music per se that separates. It's your walk. It's your intention. Like I said, like back in the day, one artist takes the gospel approach for one song or one album, then go back to what they was doing previously.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye didn't do that. He made Jesus King 2 years ago, and then he's making Donda, and now he's gonna make another album.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as that lets me know that he's taking it more seriously than most secular artists. And did you know, before I forget, that Jadakiss is on the album?
See, that
You gotta listen to his.
shoot.
You gotta listen to his verse. Like
What song Jada is on? Cause
he's on Jesus is Lord Part 2.
oh, so, I'm sorry, Kanye is pulling out hitters on this project as far as I'm concerned. You mentioned Jadakiss, man. This guy already messed me up on that Locks verse, that verses with the Locks and Dipset. But we're not going to speak on that on this project, on this particular project show. But because I know one thing for sure, I call a lot of heat when every time I brought up Snoop Dogg not being one, not part of the kingdom. That's what be the thing. But because of this project, and a lot of folks wanted to be like, well, and you probably seen a couple because folks will easily bring up, well, if God can use the donkey, why not use Snoop Dogg? And I'm thinking to myself, like, do y'all understand why God used a donkey in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't help the argument of Snoop Dogg. Because, as far as I'm concerned, Snoop Dogg did not make that gospel album to reach the lost. He just needed something to do to stay relevant. Because he already put out a reggae album. Mm-hmm. What bugs me was not the fact that he put out a gospel album. What bugged me was how quick the church, how quick Christians jumped on board and be like, oh snap, Snoop made a gospel album, he saved, woo! When that wasn't the case. It was like they gave him the prodigal son treatment without asking questions. Meanwhile, you got Kanye, who is taking his walk serious, not just gospel music serious, but taking the walk serious. Whether we want to agree or disagree, I don't think he had received the prodigal son treatment like Snoop Dogg received that prodigal son treatment, because folks are still expecting Kanye to pull another. How can I say this? How is it? To them, they expecting Kanye to pull another slavery was a choice. Mm-hmm. And I spoke on that situation, but that was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But they waiting for Kanye to say something wrong, mm-hmm. or say something that would be contradicted. They did not do that to Snoop. They gave Snoop a good pass. They gave Kanye a hell. So to me, I still say we should continue to pray for Kanye and give him a chance. Yeah. Not throw the baby in the bathwater type of thing, but more like, let's continue to pray for this man to continue this walk that he say he's in. If he say he's saved, okay, cool. We'll pray for you. Throw a few scriptures your way. If needed, we will help you and correct you, but we will definitely encourage you. Do you believe that this is going? However, do you believe that this is going to affect other secular artists that probably wanted to do either the Kanye route or the Snoop Dogg route? As far as gospel music go, can we probably expect a load of secular artists coming in and be like, you know what, I need to stop fronting and give Christ my life? Or can the Kanye route? Or can we expect a lot of secular artists come in and pull the Snoop Dogg route and just say, I just want to make a gospel album, if anything?
Well, you remember that with Nicki Minaj,
yeah, that's that.
Yeah, she had that crown of thorns on her back or her head or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. She did that. That's for marketing purposes only. So, I think for the most part, Kanye is going to change the game. Now, I will say this though: if he's going to take this route, he's going to have to be prepared to lose a lot of fans. Like he's going to probably 20 million fans, probably more. Mm-hmm. He's probably going to get down to under 1 million, based on what he's talking about now and what he's going to do in the future. Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to get them fans. Let's say you're going to, like bring them, not having those fans come back. It's just that a lot of fans are not going to receive what he's trying to do. So, and the other question you said, like, will this affect secular artists? You said,
yeah. Will they get what if they want to go the gospel route? Will they do it the way Kanye did it, or do it the way Snoop Dogg did it?
They don't do it the way Snoop Dogg did it, which, like I said, it works. You know what I'm saying? So, but will it affect them based on what Kanye did? A little bit, unless being the marketing genius that he is, he's gonna go to artist per artist per artist and say and want to challenge them and say, "Hey, hop on my album, let's do this."
Mm.
So,
okay. Mm-hmm. I guess we'll have to see which route will be chosen, because as far as I'm concerned, like you say, basically Kanye just changed the game, and he basically has became the quote unquote standard of gospel music. And if nothing else, man, any last words?
like I said before, man, like I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'll say this to artists, man, like take some notes from Kanye, man. They're saying like be creative, stay in your lane, create a lane. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of criticism. Don't be afraid of consumers putting you in the box. You know what I'm saying? If it makes sense to you, that's all that matters. Like, don't worry if people are going to catch on right then and there, because some people won't. You know what I'm saying? Some people catch up later.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're going to go this gospel route, just let you know that it's a very niche, you know what I'm saying, very specific genre. And if you try to navigate through here and go to the next level, like a Lecrae, again, expect some criticism. People are gonna come for you, especially on Twitter. I see it every day.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So just make sure you're doing it. Basically, what I'm saying, make sure you're doing it for you. You know what I'm saying? And not because you try to do or emulate what somebody else is doing. So
that's cool. That's cool. And I'll probably piggyback right on that by saying this. As you can see, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Kanye has literally used one project to shut down the whole industry. The whole gospel industry, the whole Christian community. He basically has a whole lot to offer based upon one project. As artists, yes, we need to be more creative. However, we definitely need to get rid of the mindset of trying to reach the church, pretending to reach the lost.
mm-hmm.
Because, as far as I'm concerned, from experience, it'll be cool to network with other churches and chop it up with other pastors and deacons and all this other stuff. But if the goal is to reach the lost, like my dude Brian T, like Bizzle, then the goal is to reach the lost where they at. Meet them where they at. Be the Gentile in order to reach the Gentile. Be the Jew in order to reach the Jew. But here's the thing. Being these particular set of folks does not automatically mean be 100% Jew, 100% Gentile, 100% gangster, 100% club hopping and stuff like that. It just means go there, but don't lose focus on your mission as an artist or as a Christian artist. But always understand that even though you're an artist, you're also a minister. You still have the one, if not the greatest message to give to mankind, which is that Jesus came, he died, and he rose and he ascended to heaven, sitting at the right hand of God. And I know based on that, there's going to be a debate on whether or not Jesus is really what he say he is and all this stuff. But even the Lord will prepare you for the words to say, and at the same time, the Spirit will give you the ability to discern whether or not you need to be continuing the argument. And I am guilty of being in arguments that I should have left a long time ago. But we'll speak on that later. As artists, we definitely need to do a better job as being creative. Stop listening to the radio. One thing I learned when I was in church, singing in the choir. Yes, me, in the choir. One professor was like, stop listening to songs on the radio. Listen to songs that's in the project that's not on the radio, but it's way more interesting than the single that's being playing on the radio. So let's be more creative as that. Be more extra. There's so many words I would love to use after extra, but let's be that. You know what I'm saying? Be extra musical, extra lyrical, extra theological. Stop being afraid of being theological, because when it's all said and done, somebody gonna need to know. For every Lecrae, there is a Shiloh, as well as an ambassador, as well as a flame, as well as a truth. For every KD, there is somebody within limp mode. We need to continue to have that balance, because one thing about our genre is that there is a balance. There's somebody that'll give you water, and then there's somebody that'll give you milk, and then there's somebody that'll give you meat. We need to continue that as Christian artists. Now, as far as Christian period, we still need to be able to discern of whether or not certain music will be a blessing to our souls as well as our spirit. We still need to be able to discern whether or not certain artists is worth listening to, even within the Christian hip hop community. So let's continue to grow with one another. Let's continue to critique. Let's be able to judge, because let's face it, there's no scripture in the Bible that says not judge, but there's plenty of scripture on how to judge. So we need to be able to do that as well. And as far as Kanye goes, let's continue to pray for this dude. Because yes, he may be going through a divorce. Yes, he may end up not having his kids with him 24/7. Because Kim Kardashian is that. Well, the Kardashian alone. But that's a whole nother story. Yeah. But yeah, Kanye may continue to be counseled and non-counseled. Because, well, let's face it, the gospel never promised us a beautiful, sweet life. Sorry. After receiving Christ, life ain't going to be sweet. It's going to be sour and bitter. But the reward is sweet. But that's another thing. But anything, as artists, we need to be more creative. But as Christians, we need to be more in our word, more in our prayer life, more whether in add fasting involved. But overall, we need to continue to be more discerning about what we listen to. Not just secular artists coming into the gospel, but also Christian artists within the gospel. But that's just me. So I want to thank my brother, Mr. Analytical, for coming over and blessing his presence as well as his perspective. Continue to support this man in his channel, to Show Me Christ Records channel, where he reviews Christian artists that needs not only the exposure, but the light shine on them. So please be a blessing and hear these cats out, and be able to once again discern of whether or not you want to listen to them. Not just be like, oh, you sound like this or you sound like that, but more like, can I be ministered to this from this person? And continue to support. So, as always, continue to support the kingdom. He got a record label out. He got artists by the name of Jude. That's my bro. Check him out. Jude, he's a dope artist, but he's also a dope brother. So, if anything, if there's other things that probably need to be promoted from you. The floor is yours. The table is yours.
Just like I said before, like I really like to really help artists out the best way I can. Like I said before earlier in this video, if you want me to review any artist, you want me to review your music, please hit me up. Send me an email, assist@showmecrossrecords.com. If you are a business owner or an artist in general, and you want me to looking for a sponsorship, I could do that for a price. Again, hit me up that email, assist@showmecrossrecords.com. Because like I said, it ain't about me. It's about all of us. It's about spreading the word of God. It's about putting this kingdom business out here on YouTube. Make sure to check out my brother's YouTube channel, The Slinger, where he talks about the word as well as talk about culture. And let's look at his videos. He gonna give you a crisp perspective on what we should do, how to judge the situations accordingly, and just go from there. So,
All right. And nothing else, your boy P. Lott, aka the Bridge Slinger, as always. Continue to sharpen one another. Continue to sharpen one another. Support the kingdom. Really, support the kingdom. Take care and God bless. Laborers.